Are you trying to grow your YouTube channel and you don't know how to? The YouTube algorithm is ever changing, and it is sometimes really frustrating to figure out how to rank your videos, how to get more views, how to get more watch time on your videos, and how to grow your channel on YouTube. So today I am with a wonderful and hilarious YouTube rock star, Jessica Stansberry.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? Welcome.
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Hi everyone, welcome to Digital Marketing Talks. I'm your host Rana, founder of Green Marketing Zone and Digital Marketing Talks. Every month I show up here to help entrepreneurs learn from successful business owners on how to market their business, increase their visibility online, and find more customers. So make sure to stick till the end so you don't miss any tips or tricks to build and grow your business. So let's dive in. So a little bit about Jessica. She helps rockstar entrepreneurs and content creators use video and content creation to grow their brand and show up as an expert. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, or how did it all start?
Yeah, so I started as a web designer. Actually, let me back up before that. I basically got into entrepreneurship because I hated my corporate job and I had my first baby. And I was like, I am not going to a job I hate while I send him to daycare every day. And so I essentially was like, I've got to figure this out. And so I went home and started building my business, and we could not afford for me to do that. And so it was kind of one of those like, I had to do something really quickly. So for me, the skills I had basically were like writing, a little bit of marketing, and some graphic design. And so I just offered whatever that looked like, So most of the time it was graphic design. I did a lot of like stationery, business stationery, things like that. And then I personally wanted to start a blog because in 2010, that was what everybody did. You started a blog. And so I wanted to start a blog, and I didn't want an ugly blog. And so I taught myself WordPress design. And so once I taught myself WordPress design, people just started coming to me like, it's beautiful. How did you do this? Or they would find my blog in some way and be like, who designed it? And I'd be like, I did. So I charged basically nothing and designed a bunch of blogs for a few years. And so in 2015, so for about 5 years, that's what it was. It was like I charged a little bit of money. I made a little bit of money. That was it. And in 2015, I kind of got serious about it. I was like, you know what? If I don't make a little more money, I'm going to have to go back to work when my kids go to school like this. And I don't want to. So I started taking it a bit more serious. I raised my prices, like tripled or quadrupled my prices, and started making a lot more money. And then in 2016, I transitioned out of web design into the space I'm in now, into like the infopreneur, course creator, content creator space. So I just kind of naturally transitioned into that by teaching what I did, and then started teaching other things that accompanied that thing. So it's kind of been, it's been a weird path, but that's where we are.
That's awesome. So how is it going now? Like if you look at yourself back in 2010 versus now, what is the difference, and what do you think happened in shaping up your career or starting your business and growing it?
Yeah, so I can tell you exactly what happened. But the difference is in 2010, I wasn't making any money. I wasn't taking myself seriously. I wasn't taking my business seriously. I wasn't looking at it as something that could carry me forever. I was kind of just looking at it as like a temporary solution. And now I'll do this forever. Like, I don't even want to retire. Like, people look forward to retirement. And I'm like, no, I'm going to be creating YouTube videos for like ever, because I love it so much, and I love helping people so much with like who are in the same spot I was in 2010,
Exactly.
But really the difference, the thing that changed it was me, was my mindset, was me taking it seriously. The difference in 2015 or 2014 Jessica and 2015 Jessica, because there was like a big difference, was the fact that I was like, oh, I could totally do this. And I started taking it seriously, and I actually started treating it like a business and like a hobby.
Right. Definitely. Like at some point, you have to decide that if it's going to be your full-time thing or you're just playing with it or learning with it. So definitely.
Exactly.
So that was a great story. So let's dive into the questions here. This is one of the top questions that I get from many people that, okay, I have a YouTube channel and I am creating content, but how can I actually grow it so I can make money out of it, or I have more subscribers, or I can have more views on my videos? So what do you think is an advantage for having a YouTube channel for any business, or what are the benefits for any business if they're like totally new or if they are established business?
Yeah. So what a lot of people don't realize is that YouTube is a search engine. And if we want people to find us, they need to find us when they're searching for the things they need help for. Right. So any business can start a YouTube channel and hopefully be successful, and then be able to be found on these searches that will get new people to them. So my YouTube channel, especially in the beginning, was never to be a big YouTuber. Like the goal was never to I want to be a big YouTuber. I want to, make money from YouTube. It was just a way to get the people who I knew needed me and what I taught and the courses I teach and the things I do to find me, because, the other ways just weren't good enough for me. I wanted a better way. And so really it's the same today, for any business. You can easily, and I say easily, but obviously everything's not easy, right? But you can pretty easily create a YouTube channel that literally acts as the magnet or the funnel for people who want what you sell, whether that's a service or a course or a product, because then they come out of their search and you help them and you're the one who pointed them in the right direction, and now they want what you have to sell. So yeah, I think it's great for every single business, but I also have to say, because I feel like I wouldn't be doing it justice if I didn't, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's, right. When I was doing it on my own and I was doing all the editing and all the this and all the that and everything else with my business completely on my own, it was a lot, and so now it feels a lot easier because I have a team who manages, the stuff behind the scenes. She's actually right here. She's somewhere back here. You just can't see her. So you actually, all the behind the scenes get managed. And so I can focus on my content, because that's really where I feel like I shine and where I can do my best work,
Exactly, because with most small businesses, if you look at small businesses, they don't have that type of resources in the beginning to have the team and have all the other resources available to get the editing done or to get all the other stuff done. They're doing mostly things on their own, and that's where they get that thing that, okay, after 2 to 3 videos, they are not able to produce more, or they are getting that fatigue is actually kicking in. Right. So definitely having a team of people who are actually helping you out and a resource, it helps.
It really does. Yes, it's night and day. And also, I think sometimes people think that that's way more expensive than it is. I mean, my first VA, I paid her, I don't know what I paid her, but very minimal cost. And she wasn't editing my videos, but she was editing my podcast. So I would have time to edit my videos because somebody else now was editing my podcast or whatever. So it's not as expensive as we think it is. I mean, there's services out there that will allow us to find people pretty easily and inexpensively to help us in some way. So a lot of times, video editors are kind of expensive, but could you hire somebody to manage your social media so you have time to video edit, So yeah, just think about it that way.
It is just creating a strategy or just thinking on some things, like you can go to all of these channels and maybe hire people who can help you out, or a VA can help as well. So, but definitely having a channel these days, a YouTube channel these days for any business is so important. In last 1 or 2 years, we have seen that most people are using phones more than ever, or they're using internet more than ever. So it can definitely help them.
For sure.
So what are the best practices for growing your channel on YouTube in 2021? It's for, be it's a new channel or it's an established channel.
Yeah. A niche and consistency. Or if you're fancy and you want to say niche, a niche and consistency. So, basically knowing who you're talking to and a specific person, like knowing who that person is, what they struggle with, how you can help them is just like, it's number one. But number two is being consistent. You could be the best video editor. You could have the best equipment. You could just like have the best camera personality. But if you're not consistent, the person who's consistent will beat you. So I think that like being consistent is so overlooked, and like that's key. Like that's top 5 for sure. You have to be consistent, because if you're not, YouTube's not going to favor your content. People aren't going to keep coming back. And then you're going to feel like you wasted your effort, when really, if you would have, stuck in there and done like 1 video a week or whatever, you probably would have seen the payoff from it.
Is there any other best practice that you think most people, if they're trying to grow their channel, they can use this type of thing to grow it?
Yeah. So honestly, I really honestly think that a niche and consistency are like top things. And they're the things that people overlook the most. They're like, oh, I'm going to create a YouTube channel about this super broad topic. And they really shouldn't have done that. They should have niched down. Or the same thing with consistency. But I'd say the third thing would be focusing on searchable terms that will actually get you found. So using tools that will help you figure out what key terms your audience is actually searching for is going to massively change the game for you. Things like TubeBuddy that will help you analyze like key terms, or Keywords Everywhere, which I love. I love both of them, but Keywords Everywhere is a great tool to like just show you all the things about what you're searching for and help you figure out like, oh, I need to do a video about this thing because my people are searching for it.
And how much do you think, like, so let's say if I have an established channel and I am just looking at all of my videos that I've done, and I have the analytics available as well. So where do you think I can put more effort to make my videos or my channel better when I'm trying to grow it?
That's a good question. So what did you say you had in place already? Like, I'm trying to think through this strategy.
So it's just something like, I have an established channel already and I have the analytics available too. So let's say I have maybe 30, 40 videos on it, and I'm trying to grow this channel. And so what can I look for in my analytics that is the most important thing for me to grow my channel these days?
Yeah. So really the biggest analytic that anybody can look for is audience retention and how much you're keeping their attention in your videos. So a lot of times, and I say that's the most important. It's definitely up there. It's not the most probably, but it's a really important one that most people overlook. So, if you put out a video that's 5 minutes long and somebody only stays for 20 seconds and then the next person only stays for 5, then your videos are not really going to be picked up by the algorithm, because YouTube sees that as not something that people want to watch. So if you can really focus on getting people to watch your content for longer and making sure, again, that it's showing up in search, then you're going to win that game. And so, if you feel like you've kind of mastered the search thing, which you haven't, nobody ever has, right? But if you kind of feel like you're doing well in that, then I would say the next step is really to say, like, how can I get people to stay on these videos longer? Like, they're dipping out after a minute or 2 minutes or 30 seconds or whatever. So how can I get them to stay longer? And that is going to help everything else move forward as well.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a good advice for anybody who is trying to grow their business. So for me, whenever I am watching your videos, I can't stop. I have to watch all of it. Like, there is so much humor. There is so much, like, even one of your video I was watching and I was like, oh my God, she moved, I think 5 to 10 times in one video. But it's good because I'm so interested every time, like every 5 to 10 seconds, her background is changing. And it's not getting bored. And I am so interested in watching it more and more and more. Even I was not looking for that topic at all, but I just started watching and I was just keep going on and on and on. Yeah. So I would love to talk about the businesses you have grown with video using your strategy. I know your strategy is totally different than any other one. So do you have any examples for us that you can share for the businesses that you have grown already?
Yeah. So there's a lot of course creators like me that have gone through my program. And so there are multiple examples of like people who teach something for free and then turn it into a paid course. But those aren't the interest, and not that they're not interesting. They are, because I'm an interesting person. But the ones that I always think stand out. So there's one of my students, she owns a soap school. So she teaches people how to make soap. And she went through the program and drastically increased her reach on YouTube and drastically increased her income. And then I've worked with real estate agents who've done the same thing. Like, hey, I need to sell more real estate, but also I want to be an authority in the information space for real estate. And I've worked with them to be able to do that. Another example that comes into my head is there was a girl that took one of my courses early on, and she was a service-based business. And she was consistent for like 6 weeks, consistently putting out a video every week, was doing her due diligence to like make sure it was search friendly, all of those things. And she got like 4 clients in 6 weeks just from her YouTube channel. That's a big deal when you're charging $1,000 plus for your clients or whatever, So I think it's really easy to look at YouTube and think it only works for a certain type of business, but I've seen it work all across the board. I have one woman who sells homeschool materials. So she like creates and sells like curriculum, and she was able to grow her channel massively. And then she's selling her products of this like homeschool curriculum. So it's all over the board. I have tons of examples, but I feel like the message is that everybody can do it. It doesn't really matter what your business type is. You can do it. You just have to figure out who needs what you're having to say and what your style is, and like how to like put that on the internet, I guess.
Right. Yeah, that's the most important thing. And then your niche as well, right? Who you are talking to, and how sometimes it's like even like I was watching the other day one of the video, and they were just explaining that if you just stand and talk versus you sit and talk in the video, it makes a whole lot of difference. And I've not tried it yet though, because most of the time when I'm doing video, I'm just sitting down and doing all the videos. And when I look at your videos, you're like totally fired up in all video, like all of your videos, you're totally in. And I'm like, she's so much in the topic, whatever she's explaining. And that's why I've watched almost all of your videos. I'm not, because I told you, whenever I start, I can't stop. I love it. I have to tell myself that, okay, I need to stop because this was not something I was searching for. So. Right.
That's funny. Yeah. And I mean, I think that like standing up or sitting down, I do think if you feel like your energy is constantly like not well on camera, that standing up is always going to help, because you have your full range of motion. You can like, do all the things. But for me, sometimes when I stand up, I have too much energy. So I'm like way over on the other side of the camera, and then I forgot what I was doing. So I think it's just personal preference. But we have to figure out ways for our own personality. Like, we don't all need to be like blah all the time, you know, and for our own personality, how can we stand out and how can we keep people's attention? And that's one of the reasons I moved the camera angle so much, is because that's going to keep somebody's attention. Like, oh, she just moved. Oh, she just moved this way. And so, you know, like finding ways that has nothing to do with my personality, right? Like changing the camera angle literally has nothing to do with my personality. So finding ways to just in some way keep people like engaged to where they feel like they're just constantly like, okay, it's so key. It really is.
That's great. So what are the main factors you have to consider when you're creating content to on YouTube to grow your channel? Are there any like points that, okay, I have to check mark this one, I have to like, you know how like most videos when we go online and we're searching for this, they're saying, okay, you have to have a very good topic, you have to know who you're talking to, then you're saying, okay, your thumbnail matters a lot. So are there any specific factors that people have to keep in mind when they're creating content, and especially when they're trying to grow their channel?
Yeah. So I call it the 3 T's. You really need to focus on your titles, tags, and thumbnails. And I say that, but tags are actually not as important as they used to be. YouTube has actually come out and said, we don't care about tags anymore, which means I have to change this to the 2T system. And I don't like that. So there's that. But your title and your thumbnail and your description. So I'll have to think of a way to T that. But those 2 things are so key. What's happening is your title is what's going to get you found in search. Your title, it used to be tags too, but your title is what's going to get you there. That's going to be the pathway to be found in search. And if you want to be found, or if you want to grow, you have to be found. Like, you can't grow if nobody knows who you are, you know?
Exactly.
So you have to be found. And to be found, you have to be showing up in search. And to show up in search, you have to really know what you're doing with keywords and put them in your titles. But your thumbnail is what causes someone to click on your video versus all the other ones they get served up during that search. So, you know, if somebody searches for like how to use StreamYard, for instance, and there's 72,000 videos that pop up, what's going to make someone click on your video versus the others? Like, you did the work with your title and your keywords to show up there. But now what's going to make them click? And what's going to make them click is the thumbnail. So that's why, if you notice my channel, I'm always like making a crazy face, or like they're usually pretty colorful because I want them to pop. And the reason for that is, one, they're going to stand out above other people's thumbnails. You know, like my face being weird is going to stand out against somebody else. But 2, it also invokes emotion. Right. So if you go look at all my thumbnails, you'll notice that I'm in some way invoking some kind of emotion. So is this how they feel before they watch the video? Is it how they're going to feel after they watch the video? Is it how they feel like when they see my thumbnail? Are they confused? Like, what am I doing to cause them to go, okay, I'll click on this? And so I really think, you know, titles and thumbnails right now are kind of the biggest key. And I would add in the description, but I don't have a good T for that. So titles, tags, and description doesn't sound as fun.
Okay, that's great. So as far as the description is concerned, like, do you prefer having the same keywords that you're using in the title? Does it have to have the description have to have those keywords, or you can just use some synonyms as well, or how does that work?
Yeah, so you definitely want to use the same keywords in your description. So for years now, YouTube has said like the first 2 lines essentially of your description are the biggest key factors. So in that first 2 lines, or 25 words, I guess it's 25 words, in those first 2 lines or 25 words, you really want to reiterate the key term you really want to be found for. So that would be the one in your title. And then also try and iterate the other key terms that are similar that people might also be searching for. So if my title is how to use StreamYard, right? Then my description, my first line, it's probably not going to make any sense, but it's going to throw a bunch of keywords at the algorithm. So it's going to say, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to use StreamYard. Okay, so I reiterated my key term. Then I might say, and in this tutorial about StreamYard, I'm also going to, or in this tutorial about StreamYard, I'm going to show you why you need to know how to use StreamYard. So I'm using it multiple times to kind of put the key term in there. And that way, whenever YouTube is kind of combing through our content, I'm telling it, like, this is a video about StreamYard. You need to show this when people search for it. Now, you obviously can't keyword stuff, but I think in those first 25 words, you really have a lot of leeway as far as like what you should put there. And it's really just getting as many key terms and as many searchable things as possible about your video. And then in the next part of the description, you can get conversational, so in the next part of the description, you don't have to worry about the key terms as much. You can actually tell them what the video is about.
Okay. So is there a magic sauce or some kind of a tip that you can give to be listed in the suggested videos?
Oh, suggested the dream. It really is. And here's the thing. YouTube's algorithm is set up in a way where its whole job is to pair the right viewer with the right content. So most of the time what happens in suggested is that they're going to show, well, 2 things will happen. They're going to show the person you're currently watching. If they have a similar video to what you're currently watching, it's going to show up there. So the algorithm is like, oh, if this person liked this video, they'll like that one. So that's going to show up there. So being in suggested for your own videos is key. And that's why having a niche and not being all over the place is so important. But 2, they're then going to show the person other videos that are similar to this one from people they already follow.
Okay.
Then you're going to get people who have other videos similar to this one that they may not follow, but the video is similar. So if you can kind of double dip there, it's key. So let's say I know that there's this channel that has very, very similar content to mine. And I know they're constantly showing up in people suggested because there's an analytic in the back end that tells me people watch this video, So I know that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, can I create something similar to that so that I can show up on their suggested? Because if they're on my suggested, then should be able to get on theirs. Now, it's not key, and that's always been a bit of a mystery to show up on suggested. It really has. It's always been that way. But knowing what channels are similar to yours, because then if they're similar to yours, odds are people are watching them. So knowing that and doing content that will help you be suggested is, again, key. But I think we also have this unrealistic expectation that we can have a channel with 10 subscribers and show up as suggested with a channel with 1 million subscribers. And it's just never going to happen. So you want to try, not never, it definitely does. And it's a fluke thing. And somebody hit it just perfect, but you want to try and kind of pair yourself with creators who are similar to you, with a similar audience, similar type of content, that kind of thing, who also are either just a step above or a step below you as far as the subscriber amount, because then YouTube, it's a lot easier for YouTube to say, well, if they like this person, they're going to like this person. And, they're pretty equal in our weighting system. And so let's show them on each other's channels. But unfortunately, there's not a magic pill. I wish there was.
Okay, and it's a lot of work as well. When I added my videos, I've not created very many videos, but it is a lot of work, and you have to do a lot of research, and then you can produce something. So what type of mistakes do you think people are making on YouTube, especially if somebody is trying to grow their channel? What type of mistakes have you seen people are doing on YouTube?
I think the biggest mistake is not focusing on search. A lot of times people will just throw things out there and hope that they take off,
Right.
and the biggest mistake is that, like, if you will focus on search, you will eventually get there, and so not focusing on search is number one. But number two biggest mistake is, well, it's kind of double-ended. So either trying to be someone else on camera or trying to be someone else to copy a channel,
Right.
or not being yourself fully. We
Right.
can all we can't build an audience or build a business around a fake persona, and so we have to be the person we are on camera. And a lot of people will be like, well, I'm not good on camera. No, yes, you are. Like, act like you're in front of your friends. Like, if you were actually not good on camera, then people wouldn't like to talk to you in real life either, because it wouldn't, you don't like connect with them. So it's really like the personality piece is so looked over. Like, people they either don't realize they're doing it, or they're trying too hard to be like somebody else rather than to just be themselves.
Yeah, it's like, how we love to take photos and videos and selfies and everything, but when it comes to sitting in front of the camera and talking to people and just educating them, it is different. It is not it is not like that, right? But definitely it's more of an experience, and it's more of a you have to see what is your goal, what are you trying to do. So, and with all the businesses who are trying to grow their YouTube channel, definitely it takes a lot of effort. There has to be a strategy in place. There has to be a lot of effort and research in place for you to figure out who you are talking to, who is your ideal customer, how are you gonna, and you cannot just create videos out of like, okay, just buy my product or buy my service, or because people are not gonna really pay attention to you, right? So definitely, and these days I've seen that educational type of content is something that people really are liking and they want to watch, but it does have to have some kind of a humor. And that's what I feel like when you're teaching, you have so much humor in your videos, and I can't stop watching.
Oh, thank you so much. And and I don't necessarily think it has to be humor. I just think it has to be interest in some way. Like, we can't just be like, hi, welcome to my channel. Please listen to this thing I have to tell you. Some kind of like interesting, maybe it's the way you move, maybe it's the way you talk, maybe it's whatever. And like, I try and infuse humor when I can. Anyway.
Okay, so thank you so much for coming to the show. What is the best place for people to find you if they're trying to contact you, or if they need any help with their business?
Yeah, so my YouTube channel is just my name, Jessica Stansberry, and my preferred social platform is Instagram. So if you want to connect with me, I answer all my DMs on Instagram, so you can just find me at Jessica Stansberry, same thing, just my name, and then we can connect there.
Awesome. So, and any closing thoughts or any suggestion that you want to give people who are looking to grow their channel fast in 2021?
Yeah, I would say just like make that your mission. So many times we make it an optional thing. Like, I want to grow on YouTube and I'm going to throw some videos up there, or I want to start a podcast, or it really doesn't matter what the thing is. But when we make it optional, it's optional. And so if we can say like, oh, I want to grow on YouTube, I'm going to spend this entire year focused on growing on YouTube, then you'll grow. That's what I did. I literally took all focus off of every other social platform, every other thing, literally everything, and just focused on growing on YouTube. And it helped, and it changed everything for me, And there's so much free content out there. Once we get we dive deep and we're like in it, then we can totally learn everything we need to know. We can buy courses, whatever, to get us to that point. So I think just really like being in it and commit and saying, I am going to do this. And it may take me a while. It may be a painful journey, but I'm going to do it. And I promise you'll come out the other end being like, I'm so glad I did that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That was a great advice. So thank you so much for coming, Jessica. It was a great pleasure having you. I hope our audience will implement all the strategies you have told them today, and they can grow their YouTube channel with all those strategies. It is easier than ever to create a channel on YouTube and then grow it. And nowadays, there are many people who are actually sharing their strategies, and you can grow your YouTube channel from there. So thank you so much for being here today. If you have any question, leave me a comment below, and I will be happy to help you. Happy marketing, everyone. Bye.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.